I'm going to put on the cylinder heads now. Right here I have two different sets of cylinder head gaskets. A copper set and these blue Teflon gaskets. I also have a set of asbestos gaskets lying around somewhere, but I don't know where they are. It doesn't really matter. They're mostly for aluminum heads. And I have cast iron heads. There's a look at the combustion chamber for the last time before it goes on. These copper gaskets, they work really well, but they're probably more appropriate for freshly decked and very, very smooth surfaces, whereas these blue Teflon gaskets would probably fill in any little imperfections in the surface. So I'm going to be using those. These are in good shape, the heads are in good shape, but they're not freshly decked, so I'll be using the blues. And I'll be putting on the top motor mount. It was painted black when I got it, and I didn't like the looks of it, and I really much prefer Parkerizing, so I stripped it, and Parkerized it. Same with these head bolts. They were cadmium plated, but I much prefer the look of Parkerizing, and they were starting to show some wear from all the times I'd mocked up the engine. So I'm just going to take a couple of bolts and washers, on each head. Just so I can place the heads on the motor without them sliding off. Few turns there, and there's no danger of sliding off the motor. I have the motor mount, two more bolts, I'll be using these spacing washers. And it's actually the top motor mount here that will locate the heads. Now we'll just fill up the rest of the holes. Factory calls for 65 foot-pounds of torque for the head bolts, which I won't bother doing on camera here. I'll do that afterwards. I'll just snug them up. The important thing is not to go straight into full torque right off the bat. So I will start with the top motor mount bolts, and then work in a crisscross pattern. Start at, say, 45 foot-pounds of torque, then move up to 55 foot-pounds of torque, and then on to the final 65 foot-pounds of torque, so that it will be the torque and the stress of torquing them down will be evenly distributed around the head, so it prevents it from warping. like I said, I will do the torque off camera. That's nothing important. What I wanted to show you first, though, was these cool antique spark plugs. Beck number 3s. Don't know if you can read that. And these interesting cooling fins on top. And there we go. There's the motor. Looking pretty. Cylinder heads are on.